We got our first. It's an exciting and highly profitable time to be alive. Not since the late 1800s has there been a true global push to redesign how society is powered. Imagine how wealthy you and generations of your family would have become if somehow you'd had the chance to invest in Standard Oil back when John D. Rockefeller was creating the basis for much of today's energy infrastructure. Well, you're in luck. You just happen to be alive at the precise moment that the world is deciding what energy sources will power the future. Talk about an investment opportunity. Speaking of investment opportunities, we're always on the lookout for smart professionals as we grow our financial services footprint across the US and Canada. If you have a passion for all things personal finance and a desire to help people understand how to make their money work for them, we want to hear from you. We'd like to show you how you can start your financial services business by partnering with some of the most reputable names in the industry, including Nationwide, Aegon, Pacific Life, and many others. If you've ever considered investing in yourself by starting your own business, I want you to know that the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Contact us using the email address in the link below. Let's talk about the future. Right now, there are several high-profile and very successful companies that are working to transform the way we power our lives. It's no secret Tesla dominates in the realm of solar-powered buildings and electrically powered personal transportation. But a dark horse may be emerging. Is the Apple Car the killer app that will take out Tesla? You heard me right. It looks like Apple has been secretly developing an autonomous or semi-autonomous car under the code name Titan. In fact, in January of 2018, California permitted Apple to have up to 27 autonomous cars on public streets and highways. In April of 2019, California increased that number and permitted the company to have as many as 69 driverless vehicles on the road. Now, that could mean Apple is developing some sort of mapping application similar to Google Maps. But the cars have only been seen in California. So unless they're coming out with one hell of a detailed map of one state, I doubt this theory. It could also mean that Apple is developing an operating system for electric vehicles manufactured by other companies. But Elon Musk seemed to have some additional insight back in 2016.
How do you assess what they're doing when you're looking at it? Because there'll be competitors at some point. These are all eventual competitors.
But I think what Google's done a great job of showing the potential of autonomous transport.
Right.
But they're not a car company, so they would potentially license their technology to other car companies. I think they announced something with Fiat, so I wouldn't say Google's a competitor because they're not a car company. We would compete with somebody perhaps that they license technology to, but not to them directly.
Right.
Apple?
Yeah, that'll be more direct.
That'll be more direct?
Yeah.
Apple needs to do something to become less reliant on the iPhone, which currently makes up almost half of its revenues, 44.3% to be exact. Sure, it's a fine product, but mobile phones have a long history of being hot just before they're not. Apple has $192 billion in cash on hand. On top of that, according to Morgan Stanley, Apple has close to a $90 billion research and development war chest. That's a lot of research and development. However, we have no concrete statements from Apple verifying that they are definitely producing a car. But we do have some interesting breadcrumbs that would seem to lead in that direction. For starters, in 2016, the Sydney Guardian reported that Apple was looking for a vehicle testing ground. Rumor has it that Apple settled on Gomentum Station, the former Concord Naval Weapons Station located in Concord, California. Later, the owner of Gomentum, Randy Iwasaki, stated that his company signed a non-disclosure agreement with Apple. Apple's CEO stated that he thought the EV market was at an inflection point and ripe for massive change. A company could make a massive change in any industry with $192 billion in cash and a $90 billion R&D budget. Then in late 2018, Tesla saw a high-value defection when Doug Field, their senior VP of engineering, left and went to Apple to head up Project Titan. Finally, Apple scooped up driverless car company Drive AI in June of 2019. We can be certain that Apple is working very hard to compete in a sector outside of its traditional computer and smartphone sandbox. It's also important to keep in mind that it was Apple that revolutionized the music industry by creating the iTunes platform, so the company is no stranger to disrupting entrenched industries. This town is big enough for more than one electric car manufacturer. Tesla and Apple can coexist quite comfortably. Both companies will have to produce a tier of vehicle that is affordable and capable of a charge time on par with a gas station fill-up. Interestingly enough, China's BYD, their electric vehicle manufacturer, has solved the rapid repower issue by allowing owners to exchange depleted batteries for fully charged batteries. Some believe that legacy car manufacturers have some sort of head start on Tesla and any other electric car producer. Sure, GM, Ford, Toyota, BMW, etc., they all have access to well over a century of institutional knowledge surrounding the internal combustion engine, but we're moving away from that. So it would be like a company having access to how to manufacture wagons back when Ford and Daimler were getting started and creating actual internal combustion driven vehicles. It's irrelevant. The knowledge base is irrelevant. However, those companies, they're pretty much on par or even behind Tesla and Apple, if Apple is indeed producing an EV, when it comes to all electric drivetrains. Toyota is even pursuing hydrogen fuel cell technology, which would be prohibitively expensive for the average driver to maintain. The legacy automobile firms have to be very careful not to get left behind here. Could GM go the way of Macy's and Blockbusters? Of course, if they fail to meet the development and demand challenges that companies like Tesla and Apple seem perfectly suited to tackle. Fortune favors the bold. Apple and Tesla have continually proven that in addition to being extremely well managed and innovative, they are indeed bold. This has been Tyrone Keys. Remember, you can unlock prosperity with me, Keys.